There are millions of people in this world, but no two lives are the same. Some people study for years and become doctors. Some work with their hands and build strong businesses. Some follow their dreams, and others follow the crowd. But real happiness, real success, comes only when you dare to be different. This story is about a young boy who learned that lesson in a very special way. And please subscribe the channel and like the video. Now let's begin the amazing story. Alex was a quiet boy who lived in a peaceful area far from the big city. His family was rich. His father, Mr. John, owned 20 large farms filled with green fields, cows, and workers. People in the village respected Mr. John. He was kind, smart, and everyone believed his son Alex would continue his success one day. But Alex was not like his father. He was in his final year of high school, but he didn't care about grades, books, or exams. While his classmates were dreaming about becoming engineers, doctors, or pilots, Alex was lost. He had no dream. He didn't even know what he liked. Every morning he walked to school slowly, thinking, "Why am I doing this? What's the point?" Teachers often said, "Alex, you're smart, but you never try." He just smiled weakly. Inside, he felt empty. One evening, after dinner, Alex sat with his father on the porch. The sun was going down, painting the sky orange and pink. Mr. John looked at his son and noticed something in his eyes, sadness. He asked softly, "What's wrong, my son?" Alex sighed. "Father, I don't know what I want in life," he said. "I study every day, but I feel nothing. I don't enjoy school. I don't enjoy studying. Maybe I'm not like the others." Mr. John smiled gently. He wasn't angry. Instead, his eyes were full of wisdom. "My dear son," he said, "maybe it's time for you to learn from life itself." Alex looked at him, confused. "What do you mean, father?" Mr. John took a small piece of paper from his pocket and wrote down 3 names and 3 addresses. Then he folded the paper and gave it to Alex. "Here," he said, "I want you to visit these 3 people one by one. Tell them you're my son, the son of John, and ask each of them one simple question. How did you become successful?" Alex looked at the paper. There were 3 names: Mr. Daniel, Mr. Thomas, and Mr. George. "Who are they?" Alex asked curiously. Mr. John smiled again. "They are my old friends," he said. "Each of them found success in a very different way. Go meet them, listen carefully, and learn what success really means." Alex didn't fully understand, but he respected his father. The next morning, he packed a small bag and began his journey. It was the first time he was traveling alone. He didn't know what to expect, but somewhere deep inside, he hoped this trip might help him find himself. After a long bus ride, Alex reached the first address on the paper. It was a big sports stadium in the city. Outside, there were posters of athletes and runners. He entered and asked for Mr. Daniel. The guard pointed to a man jogging around the track. Mr. Daniel was tall, strong, and full of energy. Sweat covered his face, but his eyes were bright and full of life. When Alex approached, Daniel stopped running and smiled. "Hello, young man," he said cheerfully. "Can I help you?" "Yes," Alex said politely. "My name is Alex. I'm the son of Mr. John. He told me to meet you and ask one question. How did you become successful?" Mr. Daniel laughed softly. "Ah, John's son. I see. Come, let's sit for a while. I'll tell you my story." They sat on a wooden bench near the track. A gentle wind blew as Daniel began to speak. "When I was your age," he said, "I was small, weak, and everyone laughed at me. I wanted to run, but I always came last. One day, a coach told me something I'll never forget. Success isn't about winning. It's about not giving up. So, I decided to train every single day. Rain or shine, tired or not, I ran. Sometimes my legs hurt so much I could hardly walk, but I kept going. Alex listened quietly, fascinated. Daniel continued. After years of practice, I won my first race. It wasn't a big one, but for me, it meant everything. From that moment, I knew success comes when you keep running, even when no one is watching. Discipline, my friend, not talent, makes a man successful. Alex thought about those words carefully. He realized Mr. Daniel's strength wasn't in his body, it was in his mind. He thanked him, shook his hand, and said, "Thank you, sir. I think I understand." Mr. Daniel smiled warmly. "Remember, Alex," he said, "the road to success is long and hard, but only those who keep running reach the end." Alex walked away, feeling a small light awaken inside him. It wasn't clear yet, but something had changed. That night, he stayed at a small hotel near the city. As he lay in bed, he looked again at the paper his father gave him. Next name, Mr. Thomas. He didn't know who this man was or what kind of success he had found, but Alex was ready to find out. Tomorrow, a new story would begin. The next morning, Alex woke up early. The city was quiet, and a soft breeze touched his face as he walked to the bus stop. He looked again at the paper in his hand. The next name was Mr. Thomas, and the address was a famous restaurant downtown. After an hour, he arrived. It was a large and beautiful place called Thomas's Kitchen. The smell of fresh food filled the air, bread, coffee, and spices. Waiters were busy, customers were smiling, and everyone seemed happy. Alex looked around in surprise. He had never seen such a lively restaurant before. He asked one of the waiters, "Excuse me, where can I find Mr. Thomas?" The waiter smiled and pointed toward the kitchen. "There," he said. "He's the one wearing the white chef's hat." Alex went inside. He saw a man in his 50s, full of energy, moving quickly, checking dishes, tasting sauces, and giving instructions with a big smile. Even with all the noise, he seemed calm and happy. When Mr. Thomas saw Alex, he wiped his hands and said kindly, "Hello, young man. How can I help you?" Alex replied politely, "Sir, my name is Alex. I'm the son of Mr. John. He told me to meet you and ask how you became successful." Mr. Thomas laughed softly. "Ah, John's boy. I remember your father well. Come, sit down. Let's talk." They sat at a small table near the kitchen. A waiter brought them 2 cups of tea. Mr. Thomas looked at Alex and said, "When I was your age, I was very poor. My family couldn't even buy proper food. I started working in a small restaurant just to earn a little money. My job was to wash dishes." Alex listened carefully. "But," Thomas continued, "I loved watching the chefs. The way they cut vegetables, mixed spices, and created something delicious. It was like magic to me. Every night, after finishing my work, I stayed and practiced cooking with leftover food. I failed many times. The food often tasted terrible, but I never stopped learning." He smiled as he remembered those early days. "One day," he said, "the main chef got sick, and the owner asked me to cook. I was nervous, but I did my best. That night, people loved my food. They said it was full of heart." Thomas took a sip of his tea and said softly, "From that day, I knew cooking was my passion. I worked hard, learned new recipes, saved every coin, and finally opened my own restaurant. It took years, but now look, this is the result." Alex looked around. The restaurant was full of life, laughter, and warmth. He could see that Mr. Thomas's success wasn't just about money. It was about love for his work. Mr. Thomas looked into Alex's eyes and said, "Remember this, young man. Success is not about following others. It's about following your passion. If you love what you do, you will never give up, and one day, success will follow you. Alex smiled. Thank you, sir. I think I'm starting to understand. Mr. Thomas laughed gently. Good. Now go, learn more, and one day, create something that is yours. Alex shook his hand, feeling inspired again. As he walked out of the restaurant, he whispered to himself, follow your passion, not people's expectations. That night, under the city lights, Alex looked once more at the paper. Only one name was left, Mr. George. He didn't know who this man was, but something told him that the last visit would change everything. The next day, Alex woke up before sunrise. The sky was still dark, but his heart was full of excitement. He looked again at the paper his father had given him. There was only one name left, Mr. George. The address was far away, on the edge of the town, near the hills. Alex took a bus and then walked for almost an hour. Finally, he saw a small, simple house made of wood. A few chickens were walking around, and smoke came from the chimney. It was peaceful, quiet, and beautiful. He knocked on the door. An old man opened it. He had white hair, kind eyes, and a calm smile. Yes, young man, he asked softly. Sir, Alex said politely, my name is Alex. My father, Mr. John, sent me to you. He said you could teach me something about success. Mr. George smiled warmly and said, Ah, John's son. Come in, come in. Inside, the house was small but full of books, plants, and sunlight. There was no luxury, only peace. They sat near the window. The old man poured 2 cups of tea. He looked at Alex and said, So, you met Mr. Daniel and Mr. Thomas? Alex nodded. Yes, sir. Mr. Daniel taught me about discipline, and Mr. Thomas taught me about passion. But I still don't know what I truly want. Mr. George smiled again. That's why your father sent you to me. You see, discipline and passion are important, but they are not enough. There is something deeper. He stood up, walked to the window, and pointed to a small tree outside. Do you see that tree? He asked. Yes, said Alex. When it was a seed, it didn't try to become a flower or a bird. It simply became what it was meant to be, a tree. That is the secret, my boy. True success is not about becoming someone else. It's about discovering who you truly are and daring to be different. Alex listened carefully. The words touched his heart. Mr. George continued, People will always tell you what you should do, be a doctor, a lawyer, a businessman. But if your heart is not there, you will never feel alive. Don't fear being different. The world doesn't need more copies, it needs originals. He paused, then smiled. Now tell me, Alex, what do you love doing most? Alex thought for a moment. I love drawing, he said quietly. When I draw, I feel free. But my father always said it's not a real job. Mr. George nodded slowly. Then maybe your first job is not to find success, but to find courage. The courage to be yourself. There was silence for a moment. Alex looked outside and saw the sunlight touching the tree leaves. He finally understood. That evening, Alex returned home. His father was sitting in the garden, reading a newspaper. When he saw Alex, he smiled. So, did you find your answer? Alex sat beside him and said, Yes, Dad. I think I did. I learned that discipline and passion are important, but the most powerful thing is to be true to who you are. His father nodded proudly. That's the lesson I wanted you to learn, son. From that day, Alex began to follow his heart. He studied art, worked hard, and years later, became a successful artist known for his unique style. People loved his work because it was original, because he dared to be different. So, my dear friends, Success is not about doing what everyone else does. It's about finding your own path, believing in yourself, and having the courage to walk it, even when you walk alone. If you enjoyed this story and want to improve your English through more inspiring stories, subscribe, like, and share this video. Your support helps us bring more motivational stories for English learners like you.